Okay, now
Two
now
very
you're
different things.
sorry.
Jesus
Let me
Christ.
preface. Yeah, God.
That was the most.
You too, Mark.
That was the most fun pre-show I've ever experienced. There's a lot of angst going on right now. This is good shit. I'm feeling.
The pictures need to be going faster.
Brandon's pretty forward thinking and doesn't mind some abstract design, but I'm not so certain that was the way that was supposed to go down.
Oh, that was it.
Really?
He wants everything real quick.
That's the quick version. Okay, welcome everybody to another episode of Retireholics. My name is JD Carlson. I'm here with Justin McNeil, Chad Johansson,
ladies and gentlemen,
and everybody's favorite Retireholic, Robe Guy. Welcome to the show. It's going to be fantastically fantastic, and I'm hoping to get just what we need in terms of content and discussion. You know, just what we needed. Okay, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Justin, do we intro the guest?
No.
Fuck it. Let's move on. We don't need to enter the guest. Done this before. Let's get right to it. Everybody knows who's here.
I had a good one too. Shit.
No, you wrote something. You wrote something, Justin. Go ahead.
No, fuck off. We go on.
Okay, we go on.
Headlines.
No. Let's see. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna vote for John Sullivan's Acrosin buddy. John Sullivan only partakes in the Heineken.
I thought you were going to say we're going to vote for Chap our champion now, like reverse the whole thing.
Sully only partakes in the Heineken 0.0. Therefore, we must put up that little fun box and throw someone in there to drink on his behalf. Through a LinkedIn post, I have isolated it down to 5 people, and I've lost my list. It's Kush. It's Hackler. It's Jennifer Tavella, it's Alcoholic, and it's Nev. So Brandon's going to throw it up right now, and you out there in the audience, you're going to vote for the person to be Sullivan's designated drinker in the little box.
Are they all here?
Please vote for this.
Isn't this fun getting started already like this?
I
think so.
I don't think they're all here.
I was
right
going to say,
now.
Hackler, I got Alcoholic, we got...
Don't worry about it. If someone doesn't make it.
We got Nevin.
Okay.
I see my vote didn't make the finalists.
Who did you nominate?
Joey.
No, right.
Well, we never heard back from him.
Yeah, we didn't.
Shame on him.
We're in mourning.
Jesus.
Track. Can't do it.
This is a tight race, and you guys are all going to vote for the person who I don't think is here. Which I'm just going to go to second place then. Keep voting.
Yeah, she's not here.
Whoa, that just gave it away.
Woolney
Justin.
back out again. Yeah, Woolney was tough.
Woolney's got some serious, something needs to go down with Wolnowitz from the Retireholics. We might have to shift all our angst from Sullivan to Wolnowitz.
Please.
And go after him.
Please.
Okay, let's share the results. Brandon, looks like it is...
It's Hack.
Okay, it's Hackler, as it should be.
Hack.
All right, Will. Predetermined.
As it should be. Thought it might be fun to have old Nev in, but let's bring in the party animal instead of the intellect.
We've already got
Nevin already
Okay.
signed off, probably. Nevin,
All right, this is a slow start to the show. Brandon will work on elevating Hackler up into that little box. Well, oh wow,
Yeah.
Brandon works quick. There he is, ready to rock.
Wait, he's got to do his laugh. Can we unmute him for his laugh?
No, we can't.
No, do not unmute him. Do not unmute him.
Okay, let's dive right into subject number 1. Oh, here's what I'd like to do for you guys today. In case you're not all aware out there, John Sullivan is from Forum Case Specialist magazine. He's the big head honcho over there. And so what I'd like to do today is
just let Justin do the intro.
Is just pull from articles I'm trying to pull mostly from ones over the last week, but then guess what? Today, you all are going to get a sneak peek at the new issue that's soon to come out in the next few days. And maybe we'll tackle 1 or 2 things that are inside of that, or at least discuss it. But I would like to start with topic/article number 1. Broadridge launches a multi-account collective investment trust fund open to 401ks. Are you familiar with this article, John?
You want your headline graphic, don't you?
No.
Doing headlines.
They're not really headlines. Today's a show, Brand, where we skip all these things. We just
Yeah, I'm running
sucks.
it.
Guys, I'm seriously phoning it in. I told everybody to watch. I got my sister and brother-in-law watching. I'm very proud.
we are kind of phoning it in, people.
Oh,
Sorry.
let's really make this show a disaster.
Fantastic.
We'll bring more of the real show drama as we go. Okay, Broadridge, Matrix, understood, stable value.
So I got rid of I edited the actual title. If you go back to it now, open to 401ks because it's a CIT. Of course, it's going to be open.
Hackler's on it.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk a bit about collective investment trusts too, but let's first talk about stable value. It's something that doesn't get talked about a lot. I think in all the years we've done the show, we've maybe covered it 3 or 4 times at most. Why is it in the headlines again? Markets are taking a shit. Everyone's worried about recessions, end of the world, that type of stuff. And now, hey, here we go. We're focusing on stable value again. Yep. Chad, you and I in the past have talked about the fact that it's one of those investments that doesn't seem to be scrutinized when it comes to expense ratio. Many times looked at as like a zero cost kind of thing because an expense ratio doesn't really apply. But we've learned more and more over the years that this is where firms make a ton of money a lot of times.
Yeah, and often depending on whether or not you're using theirs, proprietary or others, they're willing to give you sometimes a discount on the asset-based charges. But yeah, it's where they're going to make the vast majority of their money. It's a large spread that they're going to get based upon what that rate of return is versus what they're going to make in the market.
So with that said, I think this one coming from Broadridge and Matrix is a little interesting because unlike a proprietary stable value, it looks to be weighting equally between 4 different stable value companies. So you've got Lincoln, Great West, New York Life, and Trans Am. And currently they're just going to put a 4th in each of those stable values. And so you've got this diversification. Apparently this is needed because people are concerned with credit risk. I don't know about this. Like maybe this is an upmarket thing that I don't see in the smaller micro market. But so when you're trying to figure out whether you're going to use a stable value, you're worried that this insurance company is going to go under and therefore that's some type of risk. And now, according to Cindy Dash at Broadridge, they'll be able to diversify that amongst 4 different stable value things. So anyways, that's the take I got from your article, John. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, diversifying risk in a insurance company, I mean, especially the ones that they named, is it really necessary? But, I guess it adds to it.
They're pretty stable.
I'm with you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm with you, you would think. But I do like the fact that it's something new and it's something different. They do mention that there's 4 different share classes. So there's a 0, a 10, a 25, and a 50. Now here we go again. And no offense, I'm sure if I asked Cindy and the people at Broadridge who, I'm fans of, what the fee structure is, okay, great, you've got these 4 share classes, but now the question is, what's the return, and then what's the spread on that, and how much is profit is being generated? Yeah.
And even aside from that, I'm curious for your all's opinion. Will we see a lawsuit pop up that says, how did Broadridge choose these 4 over others? And if 3 of them are overperforming versus 1, why is that 1 still in the mix? And do we move to 3 instead of 4? I feel like we've seen that with target date suites over the years. When there are more available, there needs to be proper scrutiny over the multiple options that are there. And I'm curious if we're going to start seeing that in the stable value space, especially with this kind of offering.
Oh, yeah, but we deal with funds that are funds of funds. And to John's point, diversity it's not a bad thing, spreading it amongst. So I don't know. I'm going to leave it in the good category in the sense that choice is good. And so having another option, stable value, seems like a good thing to me.
I guess what I'm really trying to say, and I'll leave it here, is we keep coming up with new ways of recreating shit that we're already doing.
Yeah.
And when we've tried to find ways to monitor investments and how do we determine if they're prudent and what process do we need to follow to follow the investment policy statement, and then we just keep coming up with new shit that nobody knows how to track and how to monitor and how to figure out what works.
God, you're
Why? Because fuck them, that's why.
I think Warren Buffett was saying something to that effect this week, Chad, about how Wall Street just creates a bunch of products for people, and that's how we make our crumbs and our money. In the new mag, not to give anything away, Sullivan, there's a big article on, I'm just going to say it, CITs, and I'm going to drink some from the Lord here.
Yes,
Oh,
we have an
why are
article
you
on
doing-
CITs.
Why would you?
You're just trying to get used to it now, aren't you?
And it's titled "The Rise and Rise of Collective Investment Trusts." And then there's a little
Did John double rise? Is that what I just heard
He
there?
didn't write it. He's such a big shot these days. He barely writes a quarter of the shit that goes out on that magazine. Someone else wrote it, but
Wow, but
JD, shut up,
but-
man. Everybody thinks I'm legit.
But he approved it. Like, he's like,
True.
oh, that was good. That was a good one.
Check.
I think the Rise and Rise is responding to the fact that collective investment trusts were once kind of a cool thing, then they kind of went away, and now they're coming again, right, John? I'm going to give you one little quote, and then I want your insights on this article. Collective investment trusts are the latest darlings in the investment arena, with seemingly unstoppable growth and a white-hot future. Tell us a little more about these things and why we should be all paying
on
attention.
that, right? So, I initially kind of toned that down, and then I just left it in there actually because I was like, you know what, they are white hot. I mean, if you look at Morningstar data right now and the space that they occupy, specifically, obviously within 401ks, they are coming on strong, and they are going to take over mutual funds here in the not too distant future. So they are. I mean, and it's just as you said, they were initially very popular, and then they went away for regulatory reasons, and then the regulations changed, and now they're back again. We thought that they were going to come on, strong about 5 years ago, and it just seemed for whatever reason advisors did not take to them, but now they're starting to.
Let's talk about the headwinds. Well, first of all, let's talk about why they'd be white hot. In 401ks, retirement plans, they don't have to go through all the regulations and the internal to-dos that a mutual fund has to do, right? So they can run these things kind of cleaner. The reason being they do not sell them to retail investors. They'll only be selling them to retirement plans who are considered sophisticated committees of people that know what they're doing. Therefore,
the bank channel with a bank charter.
Yeah, therefore fees can be lower, and that's, I think, always going to be a good thing. Chad, what were some of the headwinds that kept them from being successful? Why are we not seeing them?
Nevin just said, which is, an interesting point, because they hadn't figured out how to get paid from them yet. And that's why they lost some of the speed that they had. The others, I think, is at least in my opinion, the connotation of collective investment trusts, or that they are cheaper because of the way that they have to report, the way that they're run. But in hitting a 401k plan, usually you're an institutionalized passive investment index type funds, and the collective investment trusts haven't really been cheaper in comparison to that.
How dare you say that 401ks are all indexed?
I'm not saying all, but I'm saying if you're
funds.
comparing a CIT, that's usually what you're comparing it to.
But I think you need to look at it. I think you need to look at it less as comparing a collective investment trust to an index mutual fund, because collective investment trusts will cover a variety of asset classes and can be run any different kind of way,
ETFs,
shape, or
right?
form. They're not just index based. So I think what you're looking at is the bigger headwinds were people were uncomfortable with them because there were not really tickers. They didn't fit into the record keeping systems to show 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year history. It just didn't look like a mutual fund. But I think these big aggregators and these, as we have more and more specialists in our industry, and this was part of John's article there, or the article at 401k Specialist, was that the aggregators are looking at collective investment trusts and saying, because we have such large pools of assets, we have leverage now, and we can go to these collective investment trusts and negotiate an even lower fee, which is interesting.
Are they creating their own? Because that's what you just talked about in the last headline.
You'll see some of both. Yeah, you'll
monetize in some way.
You'll see some of both. You'll see some of both. But I know I've talked with a lot of people out there that work in that space of the mechanics of the collective investment trust, and the lack of tickers, the lack of reporting. Those are all things that are already going away, and they will continue to go away. And so I'm going to agree with Sully. I think in the retirement plan space, you're going to see more and more collective investment trusts. And because I don't see, you can't give me any real logical reason why not to. Yeah. I mean, give me one. Somebody give me one reason why you shouldn't. Because I don't think there are a lot of them.
No, and that's why Chetney, went all in on this. Bill Chetney a while ago, and he was kind of banging his head against the wall because that's exactly what he said. Why wouldn't you do it? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
The funny thing about the no rev share, and I guess I didn't see Nevin's comment, but earlier about how people get paid is, and here I go being naive again, in my world of working with record keepers, that doesn't matter. Like, it's the same as an institutional share class as a fund, right? I don't need rev share. I don't need 12B1s or sub TAs because the record keeper can just layer that on in a wrap fee. So that doesn't bother me.
But they've gone the other way, JD. When I joined you doing this originally, almost every provider was using a loaded share class to generate revenue. And then we saw them go institutional, right? We would run quotes by writing record keepers and say 100% of the assets are going to map over to the Standard & Poor's 500 fund. And we would get pricing that was completely revenue neutral. Now there are a number of record keepers that won't even price that. They'll come back and say, well, you have to use our stable value. And here are a couple target date options. Look at Empower, for example, Hancock, for example, Voya, for example. They've all kind of gone back in some way to needing revenue generated from a suite of some of the investments in the offering.
Do we think that that's more in your market though, Chad, and doesn't exist in the 50 million, 100 million?
I'm going to call it sub 10 million space is where.
So they're shifting back to find profits. Fair enough.
And that's not necessarily true though. Specific to Empower, who kind of I will say shocked the world when they launched their most recent product, which limited the number of investment money managers that were available. They're doing that all the way up. I mean, people are using that product on $50 million plans.
Fair enough. John, when you write an article on CITs, does the idea come from you, come from your staff, You know what's crazy? That Makers tasted hideous. I'm going back to the Malort here.
You're just changing your taste buds, JD.
Do you come up with the ideas? Does some of your staff come up with the ideas? Or does like John Hancock come to you and say, hey, we'd really like you to write something on collective investment trust?
Yeah, it's total pay for play, actually. It's payola. No, we actually get together in an editorial meeting. We map out what we're going to do, what we haven't talked about in a while, what might be interesting, and who we can get to the cover. Sometimes we can't get anybody, so we turn to Schlock.
Ouch.
Let's go to headline number 2. Our boy Jason Roberts, and again, another article from 401k Specialist. Our boy Jason Roberts is a mover and a shaker, and he has this new firm that he created towards the end of last year with Pete Swisher, I believe. Hopefully I'm getting that right. Of pooled employer plan fame. And you might have heard Jason talk about this on the show. Mark, do you remember him talking about a new way to PEP? Damn it.
Uh-huh.
I don't like either penalty.
When I saw, I think I saw it on LinkedIn, actually, when I saw that, I wasn't surprised by it because he was mentioning it. I remember you were giving him a pretty hard time about that. And he had such eloquent ways to describe what it was and how it would work. And he made it all sound really good, but yeah.
Do you remember Chad giving him shit? Chad, do you remember what you said?
Everything Chad says, I just remove
I do too.
immediately.
Let me give you the quote from Sully's article, and then Chad, see if you can remember what you gave him shit about. It says a key differentiator in this solution is that employers retain the exclusive right to hire the investment professional of their choosing. So that's the new angle here on this pooled employer plan. Do you remember what you said, Chad?
No.
You said something to the effect of, sounds like a distribution plan to me. Like you want to make, which you were so smart. You were saying, oh, so you've figured out that if I can get more and more advisors, a bigger pool of advisors to want to sell our pooled employer plan solution, then that would be smart. And I thought kudos to you for that. You know how anti pooled employer plan I am, Sullivan.
I hadn't heard.
But I like that what Jason's got going, and this is not just because he's a friend of mine, I'm a fan, and I think you all should be fans of, a pooled plan provider that's independent. I'm seeing too many pooled employer plans out there where the PPP...
Go ahead,
I
JD.
so don't want to fucking do this. With a pool...
Chad, you're sure John did it?
He did in the chat bar. Greg Greenfield.
Where the pooled plan provider is a proprietary entity of some kind. They're part of the pooled employer plan itself. So to take a firm like Jason's and Swisher's and have it be an independent that will only be the pooled plan provider, if I'm understanding this properly, I say okay to that. Like, that's a great path that we should all kind of be heading down in this pooled employer plan space.
So you don't know Pete Swisher, though?
I know of Pete Swisher, sure.
Okay, because I think that he would be a great guest, and I think you guys would really get into it. I think there would be some sparks flying.
Yeah, I'm afraid I would tear him a fucking new asshole, but we'll see.
Right. I like it.
I don't think he wants to go head-to-head with me on the pooled employer plan crap. But I like that this thing's going a little bit in different roads, so we'll see how that goes. More flexibility in pooled employer plans. That can be a good thing. So we will see. I like also, kind of cool, Mark, that, or I'm going to ask you, Sully, kind of cool that Jason is not just playing the word with an E attorney. He's actually...
Arissa, JD. It's pronounced Arissa.
That's two hacks. He's actually kind of going entrepreneur style, right? Like, you don't see a ton of that, I feel like, and maybe I'm just not understanding the Fred Reeses and the Thomas Clarks of the world, but here's Jason as an attorney actually working on some kind of cool product, so that's a little different.
Isn't PRI a pretty cool product? I mean,
no, PRI is like that's a company, a shell of an attorney, you know, like, oh yeah, we're the pen, but this is an actual fucking thing, you know, like. Okay. I feel like. Is that
well,
weird?
and in my point of view, whether we believe in it or not, proactively looking forward to what might be a big product in our space. You don't see many attorneys willing to take that leap.
No,
they're focusing on what's in law and what they can handle with their hands right now, not where we might be going.
Thank you. The Pension Resource Institute is more like, hey, come to us for counseling, come to us for guidance, come to us for templates. So sure, yeah, it's a business, John, but now this guy's stepping outside of that realm.
Isn't it a product like Legal Shield and one of those things that you sign up and you're like a subscriber model and all of that stuff?
Again, still, I'll say it and a drink for it. Still ERISA attorney bullshit. You're creating a facade for your ERISA attorney skills. That's like saying that when third-party administrators do a document that's a product, or if we do 5,500, that's somehow a product we came out with. That's just us doing our job.
So you started out by, giving props to Jason, and now you're just ripping him to shreds. I love that.
No, I was ripping Pension Resource Institute to shreds, kind of. It's just saying it's typical.
You were just saying what is.
No, and I was saying this, to me is new ground for an attorney. It's someone going out and actually doing a product. That's being a positive thing.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, even attorneys have to make a living, says Nevin. I agree.
Pretty sure they're not struggling.
Attorneys are bullshit. That's what I heard him say. I didn't say that. Some of them might be. All right, let's go to one more article. I thought this one was pretty. I noticed, Sullivan, you have a strategy these days.
I do.
You got some pretty clickbaity, eye-catching topics and headlines.
These days, I think I've always done that.
Always been that way?
Yeah.
Actually, I think I wrote this one, not you, but it says target date funds are getting their asses kicked.
Yeah, that's
Brandon,
not me.
Yeah, no.
But I like it.
You said, I can barely read Brandon's font there. Worrisome target date fund performance year to date. I think Brian wrote this one.
No, you want to know who wrote it? And I forgot to change the byline because it automatically defaults to me. It's Ron Sears.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
So
been, as Nevin says, has been talking about this for the past 20 years, but a stop clock. And so he's kind of on the money now.
Yeah, well, if you keep talking about them for long
Long
enough in markets,
Eventually.
eventually the
That's what I'm
hand will
saying.
land on 12, right?
Right.
There's some interesting stuff in this one. He really dives deep into performance numbers, and so I'll share them with some of you here. I guess first set the table for the article. It talks about target date funds just not doing well year to date, and mind you, I think it goes through the end of May. It's only been a little bit of time. It's a short period of time to look at a certain asset class. But the bigger problem with it, I believe, is that because target date funds are a mixture of stocks and bonds, and both stocks and bonds have done poorly together side by side, target date funds are crapping the bed. Then Ron uses a comparison to, and I've never even been that familiar with this stuff, and I'm going to have to drink for it because I have no idea what it refers to. Wait, yes, I do. These are government investment solutions. Chad, did you think of an acronym in your head? What just happened there?
I typed one earlier.
Okay. They're comparing them to the Federal Thrift Savings Plan.
Who caught that? Because I didn't catch that.
Brandon he put it up
Brandon
there.
had to look at the
What
video.
did Hackler catch that? Oh, Hackler caught JD. Yeah, JD, we're interrupting you. Fucking get over it. You're a professional. Keep going. Jesus.
And comparing to the Office and Other Professional Employees International Union, whatever the fuck those two things are. They're big government run, retirement plans, and then instead of using target date funds, they use those types of investment solutions. So what's the guy's name? Ron Sully?
Ron Sears, yeah.
So Ron Sears goes to compare those two year to date. And if you look at the 2020 fund, which would be the one that you would want to be, the most protective and conservative, I guess. I mean, we can debate this, but the one currently to protect people's money, their funds are doing negative 2.7 in the conservative model, negative 5.3 in the moderate, and negative 7.5 in the growth. And then the target date fund industry as an average is down 9% in that same year here to date through 5/31. And so I guess Ron is saying, ooh, this is horrible. Like, these target date funds are not being run properly because people are losing money in this down market. I'm going to toss this to you first, Chad. Are target date funds supposed to keep people safe? Is that what's going on? And so when bonds are down and target date funds are down, that's a bad thing?
Well, I would say it is a bad thing depending on what suite of the target date funds they're looking at. The closer you are to retirement, the more
2020.
stable. Yeah, if you're looking
Sequence
at
of return, that's the problem.
That's an issue. And if you look at the underlying holdings for most of the target date suites, they are heavy in the bond space, which is why we talked years ago or episodes ago of why that needed to change.
John, you say sequence of returns. You say, hey, if I'm going to retire in 2020 and my huge wealth that I built up in my 401k plan takes a massive hit at the beginning of my retirement, then I'm screwed going forward because of the sequence of returns. Is that what you're referring to?
Right, exactly. I mean, they're just close to retirement now. They're supposed to be along the glide path a lot more conservative at this point, and they're not. And even if they were, they were put into bonds. As you said, there's no real safe haven at this point.
I'm not saying I disagree, but let me flip to the other side and say, 5 years ago when the market was crushing ongoing. Everybody was bitching about the two strategies because people close to retirement were not invested aggressively enough. And we needed through strategies because
Right.
people were going to keep investing in these target date funds.
This is what we
beyond
do as
65.
an industry, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're on both sides of this thing right now. But to your original question, JD, I think the problem with the majority of the target date fund world is that they have no active management, right? They're merely a rebalancing of a portfolio as you change in age.
What's wrong with proper asset allocation? And
Nothing is wrong with it, but if we see that interest rates are going to be changed and that it's going to have a negative effect on bonds, I would have liked to see some of the target date fund families make some alterations to their fixed income or their stable value type holdings in their program.
well, I think a lot of them did. I mean, that's part in this
Do you?
article too. I think. Well, I know that a lot of target date funds were aware. They're not idiots. They knew interest rates are coming up, and they did make some moves to cash and stable value types of stuff. And I'm not even saying that that's the right thing to do. I like how you brought up the 2 verse through. Like, just because I'm retiring in 2020 does not mean, John, that I don't want to invest my money. I'm not going to die anytime soon. I'm going to die 25 years from now, 27 years from now. Michael Kitces.
Wow, that's pretty specific.
Michael Kitces talks about the fact that you should be investing more aggressively at the beginning of retirement and not the opposite, I believe. Right. Hopefully I'm not putting words in his mouth.
Yeah, and I can see that. Look, we've talked about this for a while. There's longer lifespans that you have to stay invested in equities for a longer period of time. But then you, of course, got that whole sequence of return thing right as you enter retirement. If you completely cash out, I think it's a 2 versus through argument. To Chad's point, I don't think that there's that old cliche. There's no such thing as passive management in a target date fund, right? Because you're supposed to be constantly rejiggering the glide path. So I don't know.
Chad's hoping that a target date fund would not be programmed in such a way that you always knew that it was going to have 12% in large cap value. And then when it hit this particular point, it would move to 8%. Chad's thinking he wants someone to actively change those pieces of the pie more often based on, I don't know what, Chad, forecasting and magic balls? Like, how do they know?
No, I mean, there's metrics to look at that. What do you think managed accounts do? I mean, that's essentially
they usually lose. I feel like they usually get it wrong.
But that's essentially what you're paying for is active management in that scenario. And I'm not saying every target date fund should be that way, but I'm saying if we look at why they are underperforming, I think it is in large part because, to John's point a moment ago, they're simply rebalancing and rejiggering the exact same thing that they've done in every single phase.
Wait. What?
What's that word?
Rejiggering.
It's a word.
It is
It's a word. Especially
I got nervous and I couldn't think of another word, so leave me alone.
Especially if you live in Missouri, that's a word. Rejiggering, I think. No, I didn't mean it like that.
Is that like when you're reeling in your fish and it gets off the hook?
Yeah.
What does Ron Sears and Target Date Solutions do? Do you know, Sully?
Yeah, he actually used to run a target date fund. He's been trying to offload it to somebody for quite some time, but now they're consultants and they provide data and information.
So he'd be the guy telling these target date funds they should be moving to stable value instead of these.
Exactly, yeah.
These
way to tie it together there. I like it.
Bonds at their end. I wish I knew more about like investments in detail and markets, and because I know that it does go against everything my daddy taught me in 401k, which was these bonds are supposed to be a place to go for safety when stock markets are falling, and to see both these things go down at the same time definitely makes me wonder, like, Justin, nice work. Definitely makes me wonder, all is wrong with the textbooks that we read and figured out about investing. So
you never read a textbook in your life.
That's not true. I had his study materials from when he was getting licensed and different letters behind his name. He read them. There was even notes in there, Mark.
Actually, Mark, I actually understand it more than I just played off. I was trying to be more like, welcoming to the audience and not so above them. I have lots of opinions about the markets and how these things work, but I just want to be more relatable to everybody. Yes, it's odd when stocks go down and bonds do too. What shall we do? I don't know. Let's play a game.
Dude, you went to San Diego State. You're not fooling anybody.
Ouch.
All of my learning happened after that. Okay, let's play a game. We're going to play the totally original Nope or Dope game.
Your cue, Brandon.
Yes, now I want my graphics.
Maybe some music too.
Sully, this is the totally original Nope or Dope game. How this works is I'm going to ask some questions about, just things, stuff, and you're going to tell me whether it's dope or whether you're nope, not into it, and why you think such a way. I will always go to you first. So I'm going to start with
So unoriginal. It's a lamer game, man.
using fancy words like Pollyanna, which I don't even know what that means. So
Okay.
using fancy words to impress people. Are you nope or dope on this? Maybe this cuts deep into your occupation. I don't know.
I always used to like to read a lot of different columnists, Christopher Hitchens when he was alive, and he would always make references or use words that, I don't know, I got an endorphin dump if I knew what it was. So maybe it was just me feeling all highfalutin, but I say dope. I got to be honest with you. I like using fancy words, and I like, if I don't know it, going and looking it up and expanding my vocabulary. So yeah.
Do you use them in writing an article? Yes, I guess I kind of get that. What about when you're just having a glass of wine or Heineken 0.0 with your friends and hobnobbing? Will you bust out some word that none of them understands, but only you do?
Yeah, forthwith, heretofore. I would say yes. Yes, I do.
Good for you.
Your language is very beautiful.
Now, I used to do it a lot more
Nothing
when I was
to me.
drinking, but now that I'm sober, I don't, bust it out as often. So
Chad, are you constantly trying to grow your vocabulary and use big words to impress
I think
people?
everybody here knows that my vocabulary is terrible and I mispronounce words all the time and I use them incorrectly all the damn time. I know what I'm trying to say, but I
Hey, buddy,
screw
you
it up.
nailed rejigger. I didn't know that was a real word.
Yeah, and you're welcome for that, Justin. So I'm gonna say
I know words. I have the best words.
that's it right there. I'm saying dope, but I'm horrible at it.
You and Donald have that in common.
Yep.
Justin, maybe I don't know if you do or don't, but would you like to grow your vocabulary and use it more?
I would love to, but it's just not going to happen. I say this is totally dope if it's part of who you are and whatnot. You can talk intelligently. Nothing drives me nuts more than someone who tries to sound intelligent and uses the wrong words and just.
You know who we've had on this show that I have to pay very close attention to because of the way she structures sentences and the words she uses was Michelle Richter.
Yeah.
I was
sure.
like,
Jeez.
bro, that chick was talking like Ivy League school, and I couldn't keep up. Mark,
Perfectly fits for her.
what about you, dude? I know you're passionate about your vocabulary.
I think this one everybody already knows the answer to, so we can move on.
Okay.
now I got to
All
say,
right.
though, I wrote a cover story on Dave Ramsey some years ago, and my managing director just let me know that he did not like it, that it was condescending, and that I used ubiquitous too often, and yeah, so he let me know that it just did not connect with him.
That is a style in writing that you learn about, though, that you have to watch out for, right? That especially in like fictional stuff, right? If you make the story too much about you, the author and the writer, and not enough about the listener listening, and you're making a mistake. You're being cocky. You're being too showmanship in your writing
Never
skills.
overestimate the attention span of your reader.
Fair enough. Okay, John, we've been through COVID. We wear masks, we breathe on each other, give people infectious diseases and shit. Going to the movie theater to watch a movie. Maybe it's a new Top Gun. Are you I almost said, are you lame or game? On this one, nope or dope?
Is your question going to the movies?
Yeah, I didn't really understand
Yeah.
that. What?
Yeah. Going
Wow.
to
These are your questions.
I think this is going to be
Like
very one-sided, like 4-1 is dope.
yeah.
And the
Okay.
germaphobe.
Are you guys gonna go to a fucking movie theater ever again? I'm not.
Yeah, I
hey,
have, tons of
fucking
times.
Jurassic Park comes out tomorrow. I'm gonna go by myself. Anyone want to go? Want to meet me?
No,
at the
it's
movies?
getting savage.
I'll go with you, Mark.
It's supposed to suck.
I'm never doing that.
Hey, John, it's dinosaurs. It can't suck, you moron.
I'm you goddamn moron.
All right, let's try another lame one, and we'll see what Mark says. I only thought of this because of Chad in his salmon-colored shirt. Wearing a T-shirt, a thin white T-shirt under your dress shirt. Are you doing that right now, Chad, or you got the nips under there?
Show
I got
us.
the nips
Show
under
us.
here. It's nice
Show
and
us.
hot.
John, do you wear the undershirt?
Those are tats.
Okay, so yeah, this actually
No,
gets
leave
close
it,
to
Chad.
home.
Leave it.
All right. Yeah, so for years I never did, and people just said that it never looked crisp, it never looked sharp. And, I was always nipping out. And so I've started wearing undershirts now, but because the collar pops up like that, and some of them are old and ratty, that it just looks like complete crap. So I can't win.
Gotta be-
So,
You got to go
V-neck.
V-neck, bro. You got to go V-neck. It's got to come
It's
down
for
nice and low.
sissies, man.
I have to, because too many of my shirts are thin, and then you see tattoos, and it brings up conversations that I don't want. So always wearing.
You
It's a
always
joke
are.
for me.
Your
Always
jailhouse
wearing a V-neck
tattoos.
underneath.
Yeah.
Except for on Zoom meetings, apparently.
Yeah, Zoom, you can't see anything. It's
Okay.
below anyway.
Justin, do you wear the undershirt? No,
Oh, yeah,
per dope.
I got to. I have to.
Por qué? Why?
I got too much hamburger meat, it'll fuck white shirt. Right through it. So
Wow. Okay. Hamburger meat. Mark, what do you do when you're throwing on the old dress shirt?
It's a layer of sweat protection. Yeah, I gotta do it.
Sweat protection. Well, it's
Yeah.
been a long time since I've worn a dress shirt, but when I did, I didn't mind them being able to see my nipples through there a little bit. Like, it is what it is. And apparently I don't have the sweat problems that you guys have. I don't know, but
You're into weird shit.
I
dude.
never wore one. All right, let's go sports, shall we? John Sullivan,
whoa.
Yo,
are you
Avalanche.
nope or dope on the new golf tour Live? Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, Sergio Garcia, and all these rebels
I have no idea if it stands for anything, but you're
I'm
getting
sure it
one.
does.
It does.
Yeah.
It's a.
have
it's a
branched
Roman
out,
numeral.
and in the PGA's pissed. I'll drink twice. What do you think? Are you with them or against them?
I'm against them only because I'm against the Live only because I saw Lefty just be a dick in person years ago when they used to have a golf tournament out here.
Wait, who was?
Who?
Lefty.
Phil.
Bill.
Oh,
Yeah. And he was just a dick to like this person taking a picture, and you're not supposed to have pictures, and I get that, but he turned his caddy on the guy and he just ripped him a new one just in front of everybody. And then of course my buddy and I were drinking beers, and my buddy was about to be like, "Daddy, why is my hero acting like that?" But he didn't pull it off. So
Wow, so this is personal for you.
it's personal for me. It just, I always liked the guy, and then I saw that and the way he was acting, and I was like, just another freaking spoiled athlete, man. Not cool.
He lives not far from me,
Of course, high rank.
and
He's only got 2 Lambos, though.
a few times he's walked his dogs by while I was washing the Lambos, and he's the nicest guy on the planet. I mean
Now
that,
I'm
like
confused.
Chad, the new tour. What say you?
Dude, what's neutral in between? I don't like the way this has all gone down. I do like the team approach, the scramble start, or the shotgun start.
Yeah.
There are some things that they are doing that I think are exciting, but I'm gonna say nope. If I got to pick, I'm saying nope on it. I'm too much of a
Really?
purist. Yeah, I like the history of the game, the records trying to be broke, the playing the same courses, the structure of it. I like the Professional Golf Association for those things.
Justin?
As a conservative, I never would
Who
have
gives
thought.
a shit what these rich fucks are doing to get more rich, man? I'm over it.
All right, Mark. I know you've been
That's all
chomping at the
reason They're
bit.
moving.
Are you a fan of the new tour?
Sure.
Sure. Here's the thing.
Wow.
I don't think you have to
There's
be.
more in there. You gotta let it
I don't
go.
think you have to be anti
I will not give JD what he wants.
the existing establishment right here. I feel like I understand the history of the Masters and the U.S. Open and Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus and Bobby Jones and all that kind of stuff. That still exists. Like that's there. but it's also okay for the world to want to evolve. And it's not okay for an institution to feel like they have a monopoly on something and no one can challenge them for that. And if you watch the Golf Channel right now and you watch the people that are close into the PGA Tour, I'll drink for that, they're being a bunch of little babies about this, and they're bitching about it all day long on TV, all day long on YouTube. And I'd say just let people do what they want to do. And if Greg Norman wants to run this thing, and Phil and Dustin Johnson and Sergio Garcia and the rest of them want to go be a part of it, then shut the fuck up.
JD, I don't think people are debating that we should evolve and people should have options, but
yes, they are.
You should have the repercussions of those options.
Why?
What should I be able to go spend? Can I, JD?
I don't want to hear your examples, dude. I don't want to hear your lame examples,
Chad,
dude.
Chad,
they're
gonna.
It's not the same thing.
I'm gonna go work for Fidelity.
They're gonna take this to court. You are not a 1099 employee of mine. If you were, then you would have the right to go do that. You work for me, okay? Those people, Phil Mickelson, they are independent contractors. And so
are they receiving benefits? 1099 don't get pension. Are these PGA
They do if they have a union. They do if they have a union.
Are they getting pension? Are they getting benefits?
Well,
are they under contract? Yes,
don't act like you know with your three fingers, because Greg Norman has a legal team that disagrees with you, and they're taking it to court, and they're going to fight for those people.
There be it. And they should have the right to do that. And the Professional Golf Association should have a right to put some repercussions behind those decisions.
Well, we'll see.
All I can say is this. Football tried this, and they're still trying this with a cool, new, interesting league, right? The Extreme Football League that Vince McMahon started. They're in their third iteration now, right? What does it do? It just challenges the status quo, and that is okay. I'm not getting into politics. I'm not getting that.
I'm in.
These dudes are getting paid life-changing money, and you know what? Go for it. If you have the opportunity, fine. Go for it. I could care less about that.
All right. I gotta get to the cover.
If they would just let these guys like drink beers while they're playing, it'd be way better. Just saying.
I got to get to the new cover, but
the team, go sports.
No, I'm bringing this one up. I've been spending a lot of time on it. I've been interested in it. But I'm going to let Hackler talk because he's a big golfer. Brandon, does Hackler unmute himself?
Am I on?
Yeah. Are you pro new tour or against it?
Totally pro.
Yeah, buddy.
We fight the establishment, bro. Fight it.
Love it. All right, mute him. Let's move on. Okay, Brandon, let's give it a drum roll here. It's okay, Sullivan, for us to release the new mag cover, right?
We're good, man.
Okay, drum roll here. When's this baby coming out?
I don't know. I have to look at my calendar. This weekend.
This weekend. Okay. All right, let's show everyone here first who's on the cover. Mark thinks it's going to be a joke. I can tell that look on his face.
It's Robe Guy. It's just Robe Guy.
That would have been funny if we would have mocked one up. This is the new cover. It's coming out over the weekend, says Sullivan. Who do we have there on the cover, buddy?
We got Tyrone Ross Jr., who has been making a lot of waves lately. Not so much for 401k related issues, but more for wealth management. But he's got some stuff coming up with 401ks as well. And, I don't know if this says something. Well, it does. It says something about us and the industry, but this is the first person of color that we've had on the cover since we started in 2015. And it's not anything to be proud of, but, we are finally able to do that, talk some important and at sometimes uncomfortable issues about financial services and representation and a number of other stuff. So,
and Tyrone's not afraid to.
He is not. He
tell it how it is and speak directly to those subjects. I think it's great that it's funny that you say he's a guy of color, because I think even the article itself, he says, "Don't call me a person of color. Call me a black man."
I know.
I'm a freaking black man. So he's gnarly. But I'll tell you what I like about it, John. Yeah, cool. He's a black man, his own words. But he's also not, even though he's in a suit and tie here, a lot of the stuff I see from him is this cool hip dude in a t-shirt with a cool sport jacket, jeans, and some sneakers on. And so to me, he's in that kind of, dare I say this, Aaron Podichin, Alex Astley. I shouldn't put Aaron in that category. Alex Astley, kind of new, modern, young, cool, less Wall Street kind of guy, not afraid to talk in normal terms and so that's what I like about that. You see more people like that.
He's going to surprise you a lot with his opinions too. He surprised me anyway, which made for
That
really
doesn't take much to do that, dude.
And you got him in this suit, but you did some photos with him in a t-shirt and sneakers and
actually him and Aaron are like buds. They're really, really tight. He was the one that actually first got me in touch with them.
Here's the bummer for me in this article, was I knew that he had done this big crypto thing.
That's what I was going to ask.
The on-ramp, yeah. Okay. Ask it, Chad. So he was in the on-ramp. Did you see that he was let go?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is when I opened this article, digitally speaking, I was like, oh, maybe I'm going to actually find out what happened at on-ramp, because they brought him on as their CEO. I doubt he was there a year. I don't know how long it was. Oh, yeah. I'll drink for that. And then they let him go. But does your article tell us what happened there?
No. He said that he deferred diplomatically and said he has a lot to say about it. He's not ready to talk about it now, but he will when the time is right. And so I pressed him a little bit harder.
That meant legally I can't for a period of time.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, maybe
not disclosure.
But yes, Chad, he had been a huge Bitcoin crypto advocate.
Can I ask, now that we have an inside track potentially, we've been wanting a huge crypto person that actually knows crypto. Could this be the guy?
On our show?
On our show.
We
want someone with crypto.
We've got a couple in the wings. I'll tell you this to give away some of John's article here. John, you wouldn't call him pro crypto and 401k based on what I read, is he?
That was one of the surprises. Yeah, exactly. I thought he was going to be all over it, but he absolutely was not. It was really more personal experience growing up in, as he says, underbanked or unbanked community, and what it can do and the empowerment that it can give to that community. So that was pretty interesting.
Chad, he likes Bitcoin for the decentralization. You know, he likes Bitcoin for all those things that would kind of get stripped away if you put it inside an organized 401k plan, right? And so he doesn't say, or at least to this article, he doesn't say Bitcoin or crypto is necessarily a great asset class to have in what he calls, and maybe he's wrong on this because I know he's not a massive 401k person, but conservatively set up 401k plans. He thinks that maybe that's not the right place for it. But he also goes on to say that he thinks the investment in, I think you'll like this, Chad. He says something to the effect of, it's not about investing in the small B, it's about long-term investment in the big B. And you can steal this from him, Chad, which means I'm not so much talking about Bitcoin as I am talking about blockchain.
Yep.
And blockchain is going to change the world. I think the last time John was on our show, I only know this, John, because I went and watched it to kind of revisit how you act on this show and prepare myself.
Snoozer. Yeah.
And you said something to the effect of that it was going to be the new way that we work with money in the future. Yeah. And I think that Tyrone believes in that too. So
it was Scaramucci that said that, actually.
Yeah, you were quoting him. That's right.
Yeah, I just wanted to name drop.
And yeah, you were about as boring last time as you are this time, but
shut up, man.
And the audience might be saying, why isn't JD going to him for more questions? Why isn't he? Because I've tried that in the past and it just doesn't work very well. So I'm just kind of like dancing around him is what I do.
Because you think I'm the SME here, you know, I'm a late journalist, right? Who drank too much. And I mean, that's, you know, I don't
You just write what people.
You're an idol, John.
You just write what people tell you.
That's it. I'm a sponge.
Not your own thoughts and opinions. Let's go to a nerdy headline that's we've had on your website here. I think Chad can get into this, and then we'll wrap and get into some juicy stuff.
JD,
yes, go ahead.
Before you go there, Samson just mentioned that we had not hit real life.
It's like the kid in class where it's like, you didn't assign homework.
Rig me, everyone.
God damn it.
What do you mean, everyone?
Rig me, everyone!
I gotta get a pint glass.
I'm not pinting it. I'm putting it in my mouth and I'm swirling it around while I drink my Smirnoff.
That's okay.
You can't do that.
No.
That water?
Fuck.
What was in the other hand, Chad?
John, tell some people
Take
about
her
how
nuts.
Airplane bourbons
Oh, I see.
at the
John,
liquor store. I had to get
tell us-
Fireball.
Tell some people about the imagery of the new magazine. Tell some people about some of the other stories in there. How excited are you that it's coming out? When will it come out digital versus hard copy?
Yeah, so digital is this weekend. Hard copy is another 2 weeks, and it'll start showing up in mailboxes. But yeah, no, we've got Tyrone. We've got, as we talked about, CITs, and then we've got Michelle Richter actually penned a piece, and it's really funny because it reads exactly how she speaks. So
Actually, I read that one, and I understood it a lot more than when she talks to me.
really,
Yeah,
Okay.
totally. I feel like she simplified it for people like me.
it was she's very passionate, and I kind of just let it go like this in your own words. Very little editing. I say because I wanted her personality to come through, but I'm really just lazy. But it's a good piece. It worked out well.
John, can I ask why? I mean, you were kind enough to place us on the cover of your magazine, but clearly
You're asking why?
the content wasn't good enough to have JD like co-author an article or anything at any point. Curious.
Or any of us do that?
I'd take Chad in a heartbeat.
But I was aiming for.
There wasn't a question there, John.
Well, I
No,
gotta be
there
honest
wasn't. It
with
was
you.
a statement.
Chad's podcast was better than JD's. I'm just being
That's
honest.
That's
Catch me outside. How about that?
Sorry, man.
I guarantee you, if we pulled your readers, that would not be fucking true. Okay, I want to cover this IRS thing. One last article you guys brought up, and then we'll go to the voting here. We'll do this real quick. Third-party administrators are nerding out. The Internal Revenue Service announces pre-audit pilot program. What did I fucking say?
Internal Revenue
IRS.
Service.
Oh, I said Internal
You said
Revenue
it.
Service.
I just wanted to say it.
Throw up that article. Chad, have you seen this?
I have.
Mark, Justin, Sully obviously
No.
knows. Apparently now, in the past, you would get a letter from the Internal Revenue Service saying, hey, we're going to audit your freaking plan, dudes. We're coming in. Watch out. Here we come. Get this shit ready. You're about to go down. And now they're going to allow you 90 days to proactively go back to them and say, okay, no, we see what it is. It was this, and that. And we fixed it, and this is how we fixed it. And you guys don't have to come down here anymore. We're all good. And they'll go bada bing, bada boom. Did I get that right, Sully? Is that basically how you wrote it?
Yeah, it's a little different from the voluntary correction program, only because you were allowed to correct up until you were selected for an audit. Now you can do it even after you get the audit letter.
Right. That was the big thing we talk about. Remember, Chad, in our world is don't let the IRS catch you, because when they catch you, you're done. You've lost all your rights at that point.
Lost your options. My question kind of on this, JD, if I think of it operationally, I feel like the Internal Revenue Service is saying, let me, instead of fish with a fishing pole and line, let me throw a big ass net out.
Right.
And let me see who responds. And did they respond thoroughly? Because then I know who I'm going to be able to catch off guard.
I
That's
like
right.
that.
Yeah, you're incriminating yourself. And there was a lot of chatter about that when it first came out on LinkedIn, I read. But it just reminds me of pre-crime, pre-audit. It's weird.
No, but I like that, Chad. I think what you're saying is normally they only have so much bandwidth. So they can only audit so many companies. But now they can do this net, as you said it, and send it out to a lot more and see which ones respond. And it's funny, I saw the third-party administrator community respond and comment to this on the internet, and it was kind of a mixed bag. Like, a lot of them were like, oh, this is great. This is an opportunity for us to provide another service to our clients. Yes, Chad?
No, keep going, because I want to tell you my interpretation of that.
And
compensation.
there were others that felt like, oh my God, my clients are now going to come to me with this, and I'm going to have to do all kinds of crap for them and deal with the IRS and put this stuff together, where it was a little bit different last time.
Nobody wants to pay for.
Yeah, right.
Which was my comment, right? But
oh my God, I do not want to drink another fucking one of these things.
Well, it is 5:30, buddy. You know what we need to do.
Let me make a quick statement with that, JD. I felt like what I read and the way I interpreted it is when we have an opportunity as a third-party administrator community, as a compliance community, to set them up almost like an audit of financials, like a traditional certified public accountant audit every year that happens on plans over 100 people, over 120 people.
Okay.
We have an opportunity to say, we've got all of our shit together as a package. Here you go. Like that we can prepare this holistically for all clients. I feel like that's the way this is going to be led.
Huh.
Think of it from Hancock's perspective, where if as long as you have your ducks in a row from a reporting standpoint, you can escape a part of the audit, short form audit. I guess not a short form anymore, 103G6, whatever that shit is. But I feel like that's what's going to happen to the third party administrative community. You need to have all these things ready so when we get that letter, it's done.
I didn't see it that way, but I see how maybe it could go that way. I guess we both have to understand more what the Internal Revenue Service plan of attack will be. Like, how big is the net going to be? Because we know right now there are certain things that trigger an audit, right? That have to do with your 5,500 and what you do. And we already live in that world. We know that happens. So if that's going to stay at the same number and their net's not going to increase the way you said it would, Chad, then I would say this is just a good thing. This is just a good.
You misinterpreted what I was saying. I'm not saying that the number of audits will increase. I'm saying that their ability to fish in a barrel is going to increase because they're going to cast a larger net. And instead of having to audit to figure out if there was mistakes, they're going to say, based upon the way people responded to us, we're going to be able to really target people who have fucked up.
That's interesting. Fair enough. You're taking what looks like to be a cooperative movement between the Internal Revenue Service and clients and turning into more of a deception and like a way to do more. I don't know. But I will tell you this.
I don't think I am.
Third-party administrators, really experienced advisors, can already before this. And by the way, this is just a pilot program. It may not come to fruition. It may not continue on, but can already help their clients avoid an audit by understanding what triggers certain audits. Now, the Internal Revenue Service never tells us exactly what it is, but we have ideas. You didn't know what's going on.
You had a tough time with that one.
All right, I've never been so scared of the penalty drink right now. I'm surrounded by Makers and Malort, and I don't like either one of them, and I've decided to go back and forth, which has been a bad idea. Let's vote for Chap, our champion, and then I've got some dirty topics to talk about in the after show. There's been some drama between Mark and Sully. I'd like to get to the bottom of it. I've got video. It's going to get really exciting in the after show. Justin, your vote for Chat Bar Champion. And don't look surprised because I always fucking come to you first.
I just said Kate.
Okay, good. Kate. Kate who?
Clark.
Kate Clark. Who is this Kate Clark you speak of? I don't know. She's someone here that...
I didn't know.
I'm kidding. I love Kate
She's not
Clark.
here anymore.
Is she gone?
Yeah, she left.
Oh, that's okay. You
Well,
still
she
vote
took
for
my
it.
vote.
Chad, your vote for Chat Bar Champion.
Oh my gosh. Nevin ran the whole night, and then Kate with the
Nice.
pasties comment, and then a few others. Kate walked
Nice.
away with it to me.
I feel like if I voted for Hackler, he'd get sympathy votes from everyone just because he's been up there drinking.
I was going with Will just because he's been doing all my fuck ups.
Nevin has a point though, JD. Haven't we always said you need to be present to win? I feel like we have.
So they won't vote for them. I'm actually going to vote for my old buddy, the second half of Shamanda. She had a nice blend of accusational chats against me, some positive things out there. She was involved with some lengthy stuff, so I'm going with Amanda Iverson. Robe guy?
I want to triple down on.
I don't know. Based on your attitude tonight, and a lot of the things you said, I think I'll strip you of your right to vote for anyone tonight. Sullivan, you go ahead, vote for someone for Chat Bar Champion.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Mark's pissed off that the Warriors lost last night. He's still recovering.
Nobody else.
Yeah, well, hey, Mark, why don't you tell them to rebound sometimes, like on either end of the court, try to rebound. All right, Sullivan.
Nevin.
I'm surprised you even know what a
Nevin
rebound is.
Nobody voted for him, and he was clearly
kissing
on
up,
fire. So
kissing up to your competition, trying to be friendly with your competition. All right, I like that.
I don't care.
I can respect that. All right, let's put the votes in and let's see. By the way, pizza did not go out to Sylvia, last week's winner, because she's got a broken foot and she's on a train right now. And so she asked me to please not send 10 pizzas to her front door. So I'll save that for next week.
John, I wrote Brandon and asked him to put Nevin in there because I felt like the Kate vote was not appropriate.
Hey, Chad, when you do things like that, you don't need to fucking tell us, okay? Just let it go. Nobody actually gives a shit. Just let it go.
I didn't even understand what just happened.
Chad, that was very interesting. I'm glad you told me.
Fuck you, John.
Brandon?
A little disheveled right now.
Zoom crashed here. We got Kate and apparently Nevin.
Kate, Nevin, Amanda. And
no vote for, that's it.
Kate, Amanda, Nevin.
Mark didn't vote.
Is that right? Kate, Amanda, Nevin. Yeah.
Chad originally voted for Kate with me, then he flipped.
What'd you do, Justin?
Single comment from Amanda.
Kate. Nevin. Yes. That's it. Those three.
Yeah, it did it again. Just a second.
Okay, well, we can just have Mark name the winner then.
Nope.
It doesn't work.
Nope. Not doing it.
Like, fuck you, dude.
You will fucking do this if I ask you to do it. Mark.
No, hey, I'm an independent contractor on this show. Still pay me for the work I do on the side.
Ooh, Holly, I can never watch the chat bar. Did someone give a pasty comment? Is that a thing? Could you put pasties over your dark nipples as a man to wear your dress shirt and no one would see?
That was Kate. She told you that you need to put pasties on.
Oh,
they work.
Now I'm glad I voted for her. That's phenomenal.
You didn't vote.
Oh, I didn't vote for her. I voted for Amanda. I've had a lot of penalty drinks today, people.
Yeah, what's the tally at right now? 16?
Is it?
Yeah, bring it up. How many shots is JD taking tonight?
15.
Oh, I actually think I put way too much in my Smirnoff too. I think I put like 2 shots in my Smirnoff.
Wait, has Will done 14? Holy crap!
Yeah, thanks to you.
Give him a couple more, John. Give him a couple more.
That's right.
Okay, Kate Clark is the winner.
Oh, we're
right.
We're gonna piss Nevin off. We're gonna piss Nevin
Share the results. Yes, Kate Clark is the winner. Congratulations, Kate. I'm pretty sure I have your address. So watch out. You'll be getting some pizza next week. I hope you like anchovies and, I don't know, severed cow heads, because I know she likes that.
Thanks, Will. I owe you, man.
Yeah, Will, thanks for being his Ackerson buddy. We appreciate you for that. You're a real trooper.
Can we keep Will on for the after show?
Of course we can keep Will on for the after show, and we can unmute him.
Kate is no longer here. Just saying.
Oh, she's not.
Nope.
Not.
Well, I'll text her that she won. She's on a group text with Chad and I.
Yes, Amanda pointed that out. You know what?
You got a lot of sidebar. You got a lot of sidebar comments tonight, and a lot of fucking like silent angst, and a lot of like, oh, I'm this guy. You're not Pollyanna. You know, you're not being very Pollyanna at all.
Who that is.
It's actually means that you're blindly and foolishly optimistic, and it comes from a 1913 novel about an orphan.
that was
and guess what? when you use it in a sentence, you capitalize it like the book that it's referenced from. So learn some fucking shit, robe guy. Okay, thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode of Retireholics. Sully, thank you for being our guest. Yes, Justin, what?
Oh, I was just going to say, there's someone in the chat bar that would like Sully to talk about the TAPA winner.
Great. Well, tell that person that this is not their show, okay? It's fucking our show, and we'll talk about it in the after show.
All right.
I'm kidding. I'm just trying. We're already 10 minutes late, so who cares, right? We're 10 minutes
I
late.
was actually just saying bye. I wasn't at. Never mind. Bye.
This is just well orchestrated, man.
I'm just you. Sometimes when you do this show, I'm just talking to everyone out there in the audience here. When you do this show, like you try to you do your best to work a flow of energy, and it's kind of like riding a bike. You want to keep the momentum moving along for your entertainment, so you guys are it doesn't get weird. And then you're trying to go to this crescendo, and then these guys come up with random shit. They put their finger up and oh, I need to talk to you about this. Someone wanted you to talk about TAPA. What the fuck? I don't care about that shit. I'm trying to end the show. So, Sullivan, yes, I'll drink. Thank you for being our guest. Thank you for all the hard work you do at 401k Specialist Magazine. Even though these days I see your name less and less as a writer of an article. I know Brian's
managerial role. I'm more administrative now. I'm
yes.
more the vision guy.
Sounds lazy to me, but we appreciate what you're doing. Everybody, look for the new mag. It's hitting your inbox this weekend. Go to 401kspecialistmag.com and 401kspecialist.com. Or you have both of those?
We have both.
Yeah.
Just go with 401k.com, specialist.com, not the mag.
Okay, sounds good.
401k.com is very different, just so you know.
And again, thank you to all of you. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate your partnership on all this. You've been a phenomenal
people here soon.
You've been a phenomenal partner, Brandon. Thanks for all your production efforts. And
you guys.
It's been another show. Let's play some music.
Okay.
Fuck you,
No
Mark.
hard feelings, but I hate you. Not joking. Bye.
Nice.